Speaker number 4, John Howard. In one day, John Howard.
Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, carefully, Captain Franklin Buchanan steered the Virginia down the deepest channels of the Elizabeth River. The low steel profile of his strange ship created an eerie, awesome sight as it belched dark clouds of acrid-smelling smoke. It was like some giant demon from hell. Slowly, to the confluence of the James, past Cranny Island, to the open bay where he sighted the enemy ships, all 17 of them. This was their moment, their baptism of fire. And he headed straight for the nearest major ship, even though the Virginia would be outgunned by 24 guns to 10. In the 4.5 hours of fighting that followed that day, the Virginia destroyed 2 enemy ships, seriously damaged a third. Hundreds of the enemy were killed, hundreds more were wounded. The Virginia's losses, 2 guns, 2 men. With excited, jubilant crew, hot and sweaty and drunk with victory, slept at their battle stations that night, dreaming of great and glorious victories tomorrow. They were invincible. That was March 8th. On March 9th, their dreams of glory were shattered. The Virginia would be forgotten. The world would remember her no longer by that name, but by her former name, the Merrimac. In one day, in one battle, March 9th, 1862, the Monitor and the Merrimac violated 500 years of naval tradition and warfare. In one day, they obsoleted every navy in the world. And yet, the wisdom of the wise men at that time said, it can't be done. You can't use a steam engine on a naval vessel. It's too slow. It takes up too much space. You can't put 8 inches of armor plating on a ship and expect to drive it with steam or sail. But they were wrong. The admiralties of the world were wrong. The master shipbuilders were wrong. They hadn't seen the reality, the breakthrough. They hadn't realized the full impact of the one invention that had made both ships possible. And yet, they'd known about it for 50 years. Now, how many of those limitations that you believe about yourself are real? How many of us find ourselves trapped in what we believe to be an inescapable prison? Not a prison made of steel or stone or cement, but a prison built in our own minds, from our own thoughts, our own expectations, our own attitudes. Can there be a Monitor or a Merrimac in your life? Can we change? Yes. But you know what the trouble is? Too many of us are like Ella May's parrot. After years of living alone and being lonely, she bought herself a parrot, a friend, a companion, someone that she could talk with. The next morning, when she took the drape off that parrot's cage, it let out a stream of profanity that curled her hair. Ooh, she was mad. She grabbed that bird and she threw it in her freezer. She left it there for about 5 minutes and put it back in the cage. Ooh, Polly, I don't like that kind of language. Every time you choose to swear like that, you're going right back in that freezer, and each time it's going to be longer and longer. Now, you can choose to speak nicely, or you can cool it in the freezer. What's it going to be? Well, the parrot looked at Ella May, and then at the freezer, and then back at Ella May. Rock, before I decide, tell me one thing. All right. Rock, what did that turkey in there do? Oh, yes. Too many of us spend too much of our time worrying about the turkeys in the freezer, clinging desperately to unproductive behaviors of the past, excusing ourselves from the trauma, the challenge of change, because we're so comfortable with those behaviors, even if they are self-defeating and self-destructive. Many years ago, Dr. McAllister was a bright, capable young physician with a promising career. Oh, his life picture perfect, especially when he married the beautiful girl of his dreams. The world was his oyster until that fateful day when she died. And in one day, his life became a shambles. He withdrew. He was depressed. He became suicidal. He had to be watched 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And as the weeks turned into months, he became an emaciated shell. His hope was gone. His future was gone. He just wanted to die. He hated everyone and everything. But most of all, he hated those ever-present, ever-vigilant nurses who kept him alive. The only thing that he really liked to do was to go down to the seashore, and there he would sit in his wheelchair and on a high bluff and watch the rolling waves die on the sandy shore below. And yet it was on one of these ocean outings that he demonstrated an uncharacteristic touch of personal concern. His nurse was wistfully watching the waves below. "Why don't you go down there, my dear? Cool off. Take a swim. I'll be okay. You can watch me just as well from there. You don't mind?" No. Dr. McAllister watched as she made her way down to the sandy shore and out into the shallow surf. And when she dove into the rolling waves, he knew his moment had come. Carefully, slowly, he wheeled his chair to the edge of a nearby cliff. He was going to end it all now on the rugged, jagged rocks below. Finally, Romeo could join Juliet in death. And he stood. Just then, he heard a terrified, hysterical scream. His nurse, his hated nurse, was drowning. And he ran and he fell and he stumbled his way down that cliff. He swam out to the shore, grabbed that limp, unconscious body, swam back. And suddenly, this limp, emaciated, miserable man had become a human dynamo. And he worked to clear her airway, to start her breathing. And he restored to life one of the people he hated the most. The only thing that drowned that day was his depression, his dream of death. For in one day, he unlocked the door of that inescapable prison that he had built for himself. In one day, he'd made a breakthrough. And in one day, you can open the door of your dreams. In one day, you can stop worrying about the turkeys in the freezer. In one day, you can decide to change, to become more than you are. In one day, you can change. Why not today?